Hare Krishna, welcome to all devotees. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 1st. Questions by Vidura, and we try to understand Shlok number 20 to 30. Om
26,
Namo
27.
Bhagavate. Huh?
26, 27.
26, 27.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo
Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om
Om Namo
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo
Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam
Narayanam
Namaskritya Naram
Namaskrityam.
Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Today we try to understand Shlok 26 and 27. कश्चित् पुराणो पुरुषो स्वनाभ्य
Kachit Purano Purusho Svanabhya.
पाद्म अनुवृत्ति इह किल अवतीर्णौ
Padya Anurutya Iha Kila Avtirnau.
आसात उर्व्याः कुशलं विधाय
Asat Urvyaha Kushala Vidhaya.
कुशलं विधाय कृतक्षणौ कुशलं शुरगे कश्चित् कुरूणां परमः सुहृत्नः
Kachit Kurunam Paramaha Surunnaha.
भामास आस्ते सुखम अंग शौरिः यह वै स्वश्रूणां पितृवद्ददाति वरान् वदान्यः वरतर्पणेन
Varan Vadanya Varatarpanena.
कश्चित् पुराणो पुरुषो स्वनाभ्य
Kachit Purano Purusho Svanabhya.
आत्म अनुवृत्ति इह किल अवतीर्णौ
Padmanukrutyaiha Kila Upirnau.
आसात उर्व्याः कुशलं विधाय
Asaturvyaha Kushalam Vidhaya.
कृतक्षणौ कुशलं शुरगेः
Kshanau Kushalam Shurage.
कश्चित् कुरूणां परमसुहृत्नः
Kachit Kurunam Paramasurunah.
भामस आस्ते सुखम अंगशौरिः
Amasaste Sukamanga Shauri.
यह वै वैश्रुषॄणां पितृवद्ददाति
Yahvai Swasrunam Pitruvadadati.
वरान् वदान्यः वरतर्पणेन
Varadanya Varatarpanena.
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
Kachit Purano Purusha Svanabhya. May I read Mataji?
कश्चित्
Kachit
पुराणो
Pura.
पुरुषो स्वनाभ्य पाद्म अनुवृत्य इह किल अवतीर्णौ आसातवर्व्याः कुशलं विदाय कृतक्षणौ कुशलं शूरगेः कश्चित् कुरूणां परमः सुहृत्नः भामस आस्ते सुखम् अंगशौरिः यो वै स्वश्रूणां पितृवद्ददाति वरान् वदान्यवरतर्पणेन हरे कृष्ण
Kachit Purana Purusha Svanabhya. Padma Anurutyaiha Kila Tirnau. Asat Urvya Kushalam Vidhaya. Krutakshanau Kushalam Shurage. Kachit Kurunam Paramam Suratna. Bhama Saste Sukhamanga Shauri. य वै स्वश्रूणां पितृवद्ददाति वरान् वदान्यवरतर्पणेन.
Hare Krishna Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Translation.
Please tell me whether the original personalities of Godhead who incarnated themselves at the request of Brahma, who is born out of the lotus flower from the Lord, and who have increased the prosperity of the world by elevating everyone, are doing well in the house of Shurasena. Please tell me whether the best friend of Kurus, our brother-in-law Vasudeva, is doing well. He is very beneficent. He is like a father to his sisters, and he is always pleasing to his wives. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Krishna and Balarama are not two different personalities of Godhead. God is one without a second, but he expands himself in many forms without their being separate from one another. They are all plenary expansions. The immediate expansion of Lord Krishna is Baladeva, and Brahma, born from the lotus flower from Garbhodakshai Vishnu, is an expansion of Baladeva. This indicates that Krishna and Baladeva are not subjected to the regulations of the universe. On the contrary, the whole universe is under their subjugation. They appeared at the request of Brahma to liberate the burden of the world, and they relieved the world by many superhuman activities, so that everyone became happy and prosperous. Without the grace of Lord, no one can become happy and prosperous, because the happiness of family of Lord's devotees depends on the happiness of Lord. Vidura first of all inquired about the well-being of the Lord. Lord Krishna's father Vasudeva had 16 wives, and one of them, named Pauravi or Rohini, the mother of Baldeva, was the sister of Vidura. Vasudeva therefore was the husband of Vidura's sister, and thus they were brothers-in-law. Vasudeva's sister Kunti was the wife of Pandu, Vidura's elder brother, and in that sense also, Vasudeva was brother-in-law to Vidura. Kunti was younger than Vasudeva, and it was the duty of the elder brother to treat younger sisters as daughters. Whenever anything was needed by Kunti, it was beneficently delivered by Vasudeva due to his great love for his younger sister. Vasudeva never dissatisfied his wives, and at the same time, he supplied the objects desired by his sister. He had special attention for Kunti because she became a widow at an early age. While inquiring about Vasudev's welfare, Vidura remembered all about him and the family relation.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Sri Guro Sri Yuttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णु कल्पतरुवेच कृपा सिन्धुवे एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 1st, questions by Vidura. And we try to understand Shlok number 26 and 27. In the 26th number Shloka, they told that, please tell me whether the original personality of Godhead who incarnated themselves at the request of Brahma out of the lotus flower and who increase the prosperity of the world by elevating everyone um, are doing in the house. They are in well or not. They are asking about the family members. And in 27 shloka number also, they describing about their friend Kurus and brother-in-laws Vasudeva uh, are well or not. Uh, and father they describing their relationship between both uh, Vidura and Vasudeva. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you, Raj Mataji, for taking us through this very, very important Vidura's loving enquiry, which makes us understand the devotional care for the Lord's devotees. So these two verses, Vidura is continuing his conversation with Uddhava on the bank of Yamunā. So Vidura's questions, they're not casual inquiries. They spring from his deep affection, his devotional sensitivity, and his understanding that the happiness of devotees is directly linked to the happiness of the Lord. Now, this is very important. Happiness of devotees is directly linked to the happiness of the Lord. So Vidura does not begin by asking about kingdoms, about politics, about wars, about victories, about losses. No. He asks about the welfare of Kṛṣṇa and his devotees. So this reveals the heart of a pure bhakta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Vidura's first priority is Krishna's welfare. And that is why he begins by asking, is Lord Kṛṣṇa happy? Are all his activities in Dvārakā prosperous? So we see a very beautiful principle out here, which we need to understand. If we want any of our near and dear ones to be happy, then we have to keep Kṛṣṇa happy. If Kṛṣṇa is satisfied, all his devotees can be satisfied. And that is why Vidura's very first inquiry was about Kṛṣṇa's well-being. Because when Kṛṣṇa is pleased, his devotees flourish. And when Kṛṣṇa is displeased, no arrangement can bring peace. So this shows true God-centered affection. Jare rakhe Kṛṣṇa, tare mare koe. Jare mare Kṛṣṇa, tare rakhe koe. Secondly, what we see is a devotional sensitivity of Vidura. Vidurji is not concerned with big achievements. Instead, he focuses on what pleases the Lord. So, this gives us an important lesson that a devotee's first duty is to ensure the Lord and his devotees, they are protected and happy. So Vidurji's inquiry is therefore a form of service, not curiosity. So look, even when we are asking, that asking can become a service. So when Kṛṣṇa asked Arjuna to surrender to a guru and ask that vidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. So there he directly said, you serve the guru and ask questions to him with submission, submissively ask questions. But those questions are something which can be asked even in our day-to-day life about each other in a submissive fashion. Because then that becomes a form of service and not curiosity. Otherwise, we see a lot of gossips happening nowadays. Everyone is interested more in gossips and less in facts. And that is why Kali Yuga is able to spread so fast. Wrong and false news, they spread like a wildfire and create problems. We have seen so many doctored videos, AI made videos creating issues. But same thing can be used to please Krishna as well. Thirdly, look at Vidura's approach. It is full of humility and respect. Vidurji is filled with humility. He does not ask aggressive questions. He asks gently, reverentially. He understands Uddhava is very close to Krishna. So he approaches with devotion, sensitivity, and service attitude. DSS or DS2, whatever way we call it. This has to become our mantra in life, DS2. Devotion, sensitivity, service attitude. And then we'll never have problems with any individual in our life. Anytime. So Vidura is saying in essence, because the welfare of the devotees depends on the Lord, let me first inquire about him. So same time, in Kali Yuga, we have so many frictions with people. Many times the things happen which are not as per our expectations, as per our desires when we were not devotees. And so we always have a grudge. And it is so strong subconsciously that it reflects in our interactions with those persons in day-to-day life. The solution is this shloka, where we are taught about DS2 principle. That we have to approach anyone with devotion, with sensitivity, and with service attitude. The person in front of us could be so much senior to us in age, in experience. So we have to be sensitive. And we have to always remember that we have to serve. Whether we like it, whether we don't like it, whether the person in front likes it or not, we always need to serve, serve, serve. Because Jivera Swarup hai Krishnera Nityadas. We
Video is not
cannot
clear
serve
coming.
Krishna. We cannot serve Krishna directly. So we serve Krishna through his devotees. And especially those who are in the Guru Shishya Parampara and their family members. Now look at Uddhava Vidurji. When he's inquiring, the next thing he is inquiring is about, please tell me about the well-being of Vasudeva, our brother-in-law. He is munificent. He is a loving guardian to his sisters and always pleasing to his wife. See? So he's talking so much nice about Vasudeva. Now the question can come, okay, asking about Krishna, understood Prabhuji, but where does Vasudeva come from now? Because ideally, he should have asked about others. But Vidurji is asking about Vasudeva. There are reasons which are being said here. First and foremost, there was a family relationship. Like Vasudeva was married to Rohini, and Rohini was Vidurji's sister. So he was brother-in-law. Second relationship was Kunti was Vasudeva's sister, and Kunti is Vidura's sister-in-law. So both way there is a relationship. So Vasudeva and Vidur, they were tightly connected as brothers-in-law in two ways. So this shlok and this enquiry, what it does is it highlights Vidur's family affection, but then it is within a devotional framework. We need to understand. He is showing family affection secondarily, but that again is within devotional framework only. Now, why Vasudeva? Because the character of Vasudeva was very genuine. Like if you look at purport, it emphasizes multiple points about Vasudeva. Like for a period of time, he had to marry and he had 16 wives for multiple reasons. But yet he never dissatisfied any of them. And look at Kali Yuga. We are not able to manage even one wife. Yesterday while traveling, there was discussions going on in the train coach among some senior persons who were traveling. And they were discussing how the divorce rates have increased to 40% as per one of the study. Because no one wants to adjust, no one wants to serve. So within 2.5 to 4 years, break. And Vasudeva, he was satisfying each one of his wives. So he was an ideal example of a Grihastha. Secondly, he cared deeply for his sisters. For example, he provided generously for Kunti, especially after she became a widow. And thirdly, he possessed great love, responsibility, generosity, and a spotless character. When Kansa had come to kill his wife, who was married just some time ago, he said, "You don't kill her, you kill me if you want." So he protected her immediately. And then when he said, "No, the lady is in the problem for me," he promised Kansa that he'll hand over each of his child to him, so that he could complete his duty as a husband towards his wife. And then, because he was the husband of Devaki, he also had to spend so much of time in prison. So Vasudeva is a perfect family man, a perfect devotee, a compassionate protector, as well as an ideal elder brother. So Vidur's respect is therefore natural and heartfelt for him. But if you look at the verse, one more thing gets highlighted here, and that is devotional culture. Care for devotees is care for Krishna. Respect for elders and family is a spiritual duty. And thirdly, devotional relationships are sacred and not merely social. So Vidura's enquiries are happening because a devotee's life revolves around other devotees. And that is most perfect situation in life. So if you have any senior devotees in your family members, in your relations, why look for association outside in the congregation? Let all those relations come and stay together. And that is what used to happen initially, where we used to have so many joint families. Secondly, loving relationships among devotees strengthens spiritual life. So please do not bring anything else other than loving interactions in your relationships. Even if they have hurt so much to you in your lives. Thirdly, well-being of each devotee affects the whole devotional community. So that is why Vidura is inquiring. Now these shlokas, if you look at the whole thing, there are multiple practical lessons for us which we need to implement in our life. Vidura's first is how devotees relate with devotees. So yesterday we were talking about the Shadbhir Bhakti, the 6 principles of interactions within the devotees. So Vidura's heart naturally flows towards Krishna and his devotees. So whether it is Uddhava, Vasudeva, Kunti, Krishna, Vidura's inquiries are acts of love. Second is spiritual affection is practical. Because these verses illustrate caring for devotees, checking on their well-being, feeling responsible for them, speaking respectfully, remembering their qualities. They are all practical applications and expressions of bhakti. So you should always speak respectfully. We should always feel responsible towards them. And when we feel responsible towards them, not from a material perspective, from a spiritual perspective, how they can be taken to the path on going back home, back to Godhead. Remembering their qualities, not the shortfalls. Thirdly is family relationships are spiritual when centered on Krishna. So Vidura and Vasudeva are related by blood, but Vidur glorifies him because he is devoted to Krishna, he supports other devotees, and he exemplifies them. So family becomes spiritual association. And fourth, we also see qualities of a true elder in the form of Vasudeva. Generous, protective, caring, never dissatisfied, responsible, loving to wives, siblings, extended family. So such qualities reflect character, not social virtue. So practical applications. First, care for the welfare of devotees. Just like Vidura, we too should inquire with love, support others, show responsibility, check their spiritual well-being. Second, speak with respect and affection. Vidurji teaches respectful speech, gratitude, remembering good qualities, and seeing devotees as Krishna's dear ones. Thirdly, strengthen devotional family culture. Support your relatives in bhakti. Be generous like Vasudeva. Remember that devotees, families thrive when centered on Krishna. Fourthly, begin every inquiry with how is Krishna? So Vidura's first concern is not news, not fortune, not politics, but is Krishna, please. So this is the heart of. So these two shlokas, they are presenting the devotional heart of Vidura through his inquiring first about Krishna's welfare, then about the welfare of Krishna's devotees. He is remembering the goodness, generosity of Vasudeva, highlighting sacredness of devotional family culture. So these verses show that in the life of a devotee, relationships are not social formalities. They are sacred expressions of love rooted in Krishna. And Vidura's gentle, loving, respectful inquiries display the ideal Vaishnava character which we too need to follow up and absorb in our lives. Thank you very much.